So, talking of AI, artificial intelligence gave me my second chance. In 2018, AI made me redundant. At the push of a button, my job was done. But I wasn't done. I was given a new lease of life. I told myself, instead of usually feeling rejected, devalued, etc., in situations like this, I said, look on this as an opportunity. So now, freed from my job, endless possibilities stretched before me. I hadn't been made redundant. I'd been made necessary to fulfill my true calling. And what was that? I trained as a filmmaker, writer-director, to be precise. And at the time, I'd made a few short films, won an award, and was trying to finance my first feature film. But one thing I remember back then was that I'd never ever shot a film in my own hometown. I'd gone as far afield as Germany to make a film, but had yet to make one in Luton. And why was that? Because I thought Luton was creatively barren. Or is it barren creatively? I thought nothing creative happened in Luton. I thought nothing happened in Luton. However, as life or AI had stepped in to give me a chance at fulfilling my true calling, I decided to look on Luton with new eyes. That is, a place where I can find my collaborators to shoot a small film. So, my first attempt at practicing my craft in Luton almost ended up with me throwing in the towel. The town I considered creatively barren was determined to prove me right as I struggled to find creatives among the creative community just to shoot a small film. And I couldn't understand why I couldn't find creatives in Luton. Because at the time, Luton had a performing arts degree at our own University of Bedfordshire right here. Plus there was a filmmaking degree course there as well. There were independent creative groups operating in the town. There were media-focused colleges in the town centre and nearby. So the talent was there and is there. It's there. But why couldn't any of that talent translate into a collaboration to mount a small film? Had Luton lost its way? Given up on itself? Had years of negativity stifled the town and the creativity within? No, that can't be right. Because there are creatives living and creating in the town. Otherwise, all those creative courses and independent creative groups wouldn't be operating in the town. Or was it that I was doing something wrong. It's possible. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that I was on my own downer on the town and had been for years. So why did I expect the town to give me a chance? Had I earned that privilege? And that's when I realized it was going to take time. It was going to take time for me to reconnect with my town. And it was also going to take time for Luton to wrestle itself from the unwarranted negative portrayal and make itself anew. So, now that I'd got that off my chest, I thought, I'm looking at Luton with new eyes. Their creativity is here. It's possible. You know, I'm being tested, I reckoned. You know, I'm being tested to see if I will deliver on my second chance. And I was being tested to see if I was committed to Luton as a place to create, to find like-minded people, to find my tribe, to develop, build, and grow. But I realized I'd always been committed to Luton. I realized that out of all the places that I'd lived, Luton had been my longest place of refuge. And I often found myself defending the town when people felt the need to besmirch the place in which I live. Let me show you some of that spirit. And in fact, I did you a disservice by not showing you one of my other clips. So let's see what comes up first, and I will style this baby out, okay? Anything happening? Yeah. Oh, okay, beg your pardon.
Luton is obviously physically a place, but Luton is also, and perhaps more so, it's people. My own personal belief is that Luton lacks an identity. It attracts controversy, unnecessarily and exaggerated controversy. But I think the problem is that, you know, if there's a void, if there's a hole, people will fill it with whatever they want. I think it's important with a town that's so diverse as Luton that everybody, irrespective of how old they are or where they come from, is in terms of part of the country or the world or whatever. When you come to a place, it needs to have, you want an identity. It's part of you. If you bring children up, it's their town. Children born here, not born here, whatever, it needs an identity. And my opinion is that Luton lacks that.
I wasn't sure if Luton's negative portrayal was due to an identity problem. What I actually learned was that perhaps Luton didn't know what it had going for it, the positives, and the chance to make itself anew, as I said earlier. So now let me show you that Lutonian attitude that we have here, my second clip.
Everyone, like, you go online and everyone's like, oh, Luton's the worst town, You see all that all the time. Really annoying. It's not.
A lot of people have a kind of negative stereotype of the town. I don't think the media helps. I think certain social situations that have happened. But there's a lot of great things that happen in Luton.
If you go anywhere and people don't know the town and you say you're from Luton, it has a bad press or it has a bad vibe about it. And then, you know, we're allowed to say what we like, but nobody else can say anything. Then you get all prickly.
Lutonians know that Luton sometimes has bad press because of what's the media and so forth. And I think as a town, I think people rise above it as well. And there's a certain defiance.
Despite all the negativity in the town and the negativity that was unfortunately beginning to take root, and my struggles to find creative collaborators to mount a short film, I persevered. And my perseverance and defiance paid off. I made my first short film in Luton with local creative talent. I had embraced Luton. I was no longer of the opinion that I will never be able to find creative talent to shoot a film here. The talent is here and is always here. And I realized that something else had happened. I'd had that mind shift. Luton is home and where to create. And just as I'd had that mind shift, a shift has also occurred in Luton. For a town much maligned, Luton produced a Premiership football club. And we'll do it again. In fact, what did we just win? Some League Cup recently. We're on our way. Yeah. We will do it again, but this time in a state-of-the-art stadium. Yeah, which is under construction as we speak. And also, Luton recently hosted BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend. Yeah. I think Coldplay, we attracted Coldplay to Luton. And also, that show gave an opportunity to showcase our talent, our musical talent in the town, local musicians, yeah? And talking of music, we are in the process of building a new concert venue. The stage is scheduled to open in 2028, a stone's throw from here. Luton has embraced its second chance. Luton is tapping into what it always had. But now it has a tremendous amount of self-belief. And we are creating in Luton. And as Luton is now, well, there's a pivot going on, isn't it? Surely when that stage is built and when we have that huge stadium, we'll be perceived differently. There will be that negativity may be gone forever. I mean, I'm sure some people in here still think differently about Luton, but I think we've now got it going on. Yeah, something has shifted. And so I discovered that my second chance helped me to connect with my town that I'd overlooked for decades. And that second chance helped me to tell the stories of ordinary Lutonians in a much cherished film called The Luton I Remember, Past, Present and Future, clips of which you've just seen. And I'm not stopping there. I'm the founder and director of Moving Image Luton CIC, a grassroots community interest company working to develop a film hub in the town. The film hub will open up the arts to those formerly excluded, will develop our creatives, will add value to the lives of Lutonian and value to our businesses here. So instead of feeling rejected and devalued by my redundancy, it actually gave me a chance to add value to my town and my community. What shape or form do you think your second chance will take? And when it comes, will you respond and discover your true value? Thank you. I'm Victoria Hayford. Thank you for listening.